it's not just that we're chauvinistic, it's that we have a very particular, because of our own evolutionary history, I suppose we have a very particular mind blindness where much like in the so I use this analogy of the electromagnetic spectrum, right? It's like naturally we see like this tiny little sliver of it, and also all the other stuff, static electricity, lightning, magnets, light. We used to think all those were different things. And so then we had a good theory of electromagnetism, which says, first of all, they're not all different things, they're manifestations of the same thing, so there's a powerful unification that happens. And second, okay, now that you understand that, you can now create devices to operate, to sense, and then to send and receive along this enormous continuum. So I feel like, in the spectrum of minds, we are like that. We are extremely narrow. Even if we don't want to be chauvinistic, we have a lot of trouble recognizing very alien minds. And when I say alien minds, actually there's a talk I give where I progressively get to weirder and weirder kinds of things. But even just let's just go with cells, for example. In a typical cell, the space that it's navigating, well, there's several spaces that it's navigating, and who knows the ones we don't even know about, but the ones we know about, for example, transcriptional space. So this is the space of possible gene expression states. And so think of this as like Moravec's paradox. We have a robot with 10,000 limbs, and how do you run a robot with that many effectors, right? Yeah, this thing has 20,000 different dimensions that it can act in. Not 20,000 different behaviors, 20,000 different dimensions. We don't even, like, I don't know about you, but we can't even begin to comprehend. And I mean, I know mathematicians have crazy Hilbert spaces and whatnot, but but for the rest of us, what is a mind like that? Yeah, you're not going to talk to it about politics or the movie you saw, whatever. But if you were smart enough, you could talk to it about what's going on in transcriptional space and the different attractors and the different domains and the places you shouldn't go and the places you can't help but go, and the place where you were yesterday, which was amazing, but you can't get there today because something is going, like 20,000 independent, or mostly independent dimensions. And those are the kinds of things where it becomes very hard to say who's more and who's less sophisticated. We want to think we're more sophisticated than cells, but I can't navigate a 20,000 dimensional space, right? So I feel like it's very hard to really to be able to say, we know what level of sophistication is and the problems they solve. I think we've talked about it before, that this example of barium, where barium experiments in planaria, where we hit these things with a toxin they've never seen before, that there's never been evolutionary pressure to know what to deal with. But their heads blow up, and within a matter of days, they grow a new head that's totally barium accommodated, no problem. It doesn't care about barium. And so, well, how the hell does that happen? And out of the whatever 20,000 sets of genes, they identified less than a dozen different dimensions that they had to walk in to get to a place where physiologically that stressor doesn't bother them anymore. And they've never seen this before. So it's an incredible amount of problem solving. Like, how do we compare that with the kinds of things that we do? I don't know. I don't know that we can just say it's less sophisticated.
I'm totally with you. Also in the intuition, let me amplify something you said before, and I wanted to amplify, but I forgot.
I'm Amir. I run Bernardo Kastrup's weekly Q&A membership program with realityinmind.com. And this is an excerpt from one of those sessions in which we were joined by Michael Levin as guest, filmed on the 26th of September 2025. If you enjoy this, you might like to join a Q&A that we're hosting with Michael Levin and Bernardo Kastrup next week, the 18th of November. You can find us at withrealityinmind.com or join it as a one-off event via the link in the comments and description below.